Do you ever feel like your brain needs a vacation from the obvious? Well, today's video is packed with 25 mind-melting facts that'll have you rethinking everything from your allergies to historical events. Interested? Well, let's get going. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 mind-blowing facts to think about. 25. The first text message ever sent. Can you imagine a world without texting? Well, believe it or not, the very first text message was only sent 32 years ago, in 1992. On December 3rd, a young man named Neil Papworth, who also happened to be an engineer, sent a simple greeting from his computer to a mobile phone. The once-in-a-lifetime history-making message? An oh-so-jolly Merry Christmas. 24. The birth of the smartphone. And since we started on a technological note, let's keep it going. Can you guess when the first smartphone saw the light of day? No, it wasn't in 2005, and it definitely wasn't 1999. The world's first smartphone actually hit the scene in 1992. The IBM Simon came with features like a touchscreen, a calendar, a calculator, and even an address book with predictive text. While the Simon only sold around 50,000 units and eventually got overshadowed by later advancements, it paved the way for the sleek smartphones we rely on today. 23. Licking your reflection. I'm not sure if you've ever given this any thought, and if you have, please let me know why, but did you know that the only part of your reflection you can actually lick is your tongue? I mean, think about it. Reflections aren't physical objects, they're just a reversal of light bouncing off a surface. So when you stick out your tongue at your reflection, you're really just licking the mirror itself. And the only part that actually touches anything? Your tongue. 22. Is this a cucumber or watermelon? Did you know that if you put sugar on a cucumber, it tastes just like a watermelon? It sounds crazy, but there's actually a scientific explanation behind this strange taste fact. A single molecule called trans-cis-2,6-nonadienyl is a key player in the flavor profile of both cucumbers and watermelon. This compound heavily influences the smell and taste of these seemingly different fruits. While most natural flavors are a complex mix of odor and taste molecules working together, trans-cis-2,6-nonadienyl packs a powerful punch. It creates a similar sensory experience for both cucumbers and watermelons. The end result? Sugary cucumbers that taste just like your favorite summer treat. I hate cucumbers, so I guess I'm gonna have to give this a shot and see if it works. 21. Our unique minds. Have you ever noticed how you and your BFF can watch the same movie and feel completely different about it? That's because our minds are like snowflakes. No two are exactly alike. Think of your brain as the hardware, but the software is a personalized program built from all your experiences. The things you've been through, how you grew up, and even the genes you got from your parents all contribute to how you see the world. And it doesn't stop there. The people you hang out with, the books you devour, the movies that leave you speechless. All that stuff gets tossed into your mental mixing bowl and whipped up into your unique perspective. Pretty cool, right? 20. Alphabetical Antics. Do you know why ABC comes before XYZ? Well, the truth is the alphabetical order that we use today only came about after taking a long and winding road through history. It started with the Phoenicians, thanks Phoenicians, who created one way back when focusing on consonants for easier memorization. The Greeks, needing more letters as languages evolved, borrowed the Phoenician alphabet and cleverly added vowels. Finally, the Romans took the baton from the Etruscans, who themselves borrowed it from the Greeks. The Romans made some tweaks, and our modern alphabet was born. 19. The mousy origin of the word muscle. In Latin, musculus means little mouse, the very root of our word muscle. So, why the connection? Apparently those flexing biceps, the classic muscle, looked a little bit like a mouse scurrying under the skin, complete with a tendon acting as a tail. And here's another fun fact. The strongest muscle in your body, relative to its size of course, is actually your masseter muscle, the one you use to chew. 18. How blackmail got its name. The word itself goes back to a rough time in history, to the 15 and 1600s along the border between Scotland and England. Back then, powerful chieftains demanded payments from landowners, basically protection money to avoid having their land raided and pillaged. The male part of blackmail comes from an old word meaning rent or payment. And interestingly, some believe the black in blackmail refers to the opposite of white money, that silver coins the honest tenants used to pay their rent. 17. The biggest weight gain culprit. Do you live for potatoes? We've found a sobering fact for you to crunch on. A study has revealed that potato chips might in fact be the biggest single contributor to weight gain. Now, before you curl up in a fetal position on the ground and start crying, take a breath. It was just one study. When it comes to weight loss, the trick is managing calories, and potato chips are loaded with them, along with salt, fat, and sometimes sugar. Baked or roasted versions aren't much better. So if potatoes are your reason for living, maybe opt for a boiled one instead. It's filling and packed with nutrients without the chip-related guilt trip. Or should I say guilt chip? I shouldn't say that. 16. Our fake food predicament. Researchers believe an incredible 1/3 of all fish sold in restaurants and stores might be mislabeled. That means there's basically a 33% chance you're paying red snapper prices for tilapia. Snapper specifically is a prime culprit and has a scary 87% mislabeling rate, with tuna not far behind at 59%. And this is not just random mistakes, it's a widespread issue. So the next time you crave seafood, be sure to ask questions and choose reputable places to shop or dine. Like the fillet of fish. 15. Boyfriends do more housework than husbands. If you're a married woman, you might be well aware of this fact, but a new study has revealed a surprising tendency. Boyfriends actually do more housework than husbands. Sociologist Shannon Davis and her team analyzed data from over 17,000 people in developed countries. The results? Across the board, live-in boyfriends spend more time on household chores compared to married men. So, if you've been looking for proof, oh, you're welcome. 14. You sleep better on a hammock than on a bed. Are you the type who tosses and turns all night? Well, it might be time to trade in your bed for a hammock. Studies suggest that hammocks can promote deeper sleep. Then, it makes sense. The gentle rocking mimics being cradled as a baby, and the natural position encourages better spinal alignment. This can lead to fewer disruptions and more restful sleep. The benefits of a good night's sleep go beyond feeling refreshed. Deeper sleep is linked to improved mood, energy levels, and even a stronger immune system. So consider it. It might be all the difference. 13. Sea sponges can survive a blender. Okay, now please do not go trying this at home, but sea sponges can actually really pull this off. Unlike most animals, sponges aren't made of complex tissues. Instead, they're a collection of unique cells that can transform to do any job needed. This means that even if a sponge gets obliterated in a blender, its individual cells can still swim back together and rebuild the entire sponge. But you know what else is mind-blowing? The fact that you haven't liked, shared, commented, or subscribed yet. It really helps the channel so we can keep bringing you these amazing videos. Also, don't forget to check out our socials. 12. Viking wedding gifts. Forget toasters and plates, Vikings gave the most perfect wedding present of all. Cats were seen as companions of Freya, the Norse goddess of love, often depicted riding a chariot pulled by felines. And because of this connection, Viking brides usually received little kittens. In addition to being adorable companion, these furry friends were believed to bring good luck and help the new young bride to establish her new home and household. 11. The Frankenstein tree. Have you ever heard of a tree that's a fruit salad all on its own? Meet the Frankenstein tree. Artist Sam Van Aken was fascinated by grafting, a technique where branches from different trees are like roommates on one trunk. But unlike Frankenstein's monster, this creation is a marvel. A single tree that can grow up to 40 different types of stone fruits, like peaches, plums, and cherries, and he's planted more than one. Now, I think we can come up with a better name for that. I don't know about you, but rainbow tree or stone fruit tree? I don't know. What would you suggest? Let me know in the comments. 10. Big claw, big love. Have you ever seen a crab waving his claw around like he's conducting an orchestra? It might have just been a fiddler crab. Unlike their pinchy cousins, these charismatic crustaceans use their one giant claw to put on a show for the ladies. The bigger and flashier the wave, the more likely a male is to impress a potential mate. In other words, when it comes to crustaceans, size does matter. 9. The Portland Pee Panic. In 2014, Portland faced a real WTF situation, all thanks to a 19-year-old with a questionable decision. The young man decided to relieve himself in the city's Mount Tabor Reserve and triggered a major dilemma. While tests likely showed minimal health risks from the yellow stuff itself, city officials worried about the obvious ick factor and the potential for other contaminants. This infamous incident, sometimes referred to as the Portland Pee Incident, cost tens of thousands of dollars and highlighted the importance of safeguarding our water sources. 8. From Beaver College to Arcadia University. Who would have guessed that the porn industry could influence a college's number of applications? Believe it or not, Beaver College, now Arcadia University, faced a real dilemma in 2001. Their innocent-sounding name kept getting flagged by web filters designed to block, well, you know. This meant potential students were having trouble even finding the college website. Research by the college itself showed the Beaver name turned away 30% of prospective applicants. So, in 2001, they embraced a more internet-friendly name, Arcadia. And the rest is history. 7. The Zapruder footage's price tag. The Zapruder film, the only footage capturing President Kennedy's assassination in its entirety, is a historical artifact unlike any other. And due to its unique nature, its value was hard to determine. In 1999, after negotiations with the Zapruder family, the US government finally purchased the film for $16 million. Interestingly, the Zapruder family retained the copyright to the film, ensuring control over its use. However, the deal did manage to secure this crucial piece of history for public record. 6. Hay fever woes. If you suffer from allergies, you're basically reacting to plant sperm. That's right. Pollen acts like the male reproductive element for flowering plants. Unlike animals, where things are a little bit more internal, pollen has to brave the elements, wind, insects, the whole 9 yards on its journey to fertilize another plant. So, the next time you sneeze uncontrollably thanks to a beautiful flower, just remember, you're not allergic to the flower itself, but its attempt to procreate. You're welcome. 5. Synaptic pruning. Synaptic pruning is your brain's way of decluttering. Just like a gardener trims overgrown branches, the brain removes unused connections to stay efficient and focused on what matters. Now, here's the cool part. Recent research suggests our brains are far more adaptive than we thought. They can essentially delete anything unimportant. So the next time you learn something new, remember, your brain is literally rewiring itself to make space for it. Isn't that mind-blowing? Sorry for all the 25 things you forget every time you watch a video. 4. Aotearoa's nasty nettle. Have you ever brushed against a stinging nettle? Not a good feeling, is it? Well, New Zealand has one that takes the sting to a whole new level. The Aotearoa nettle, also known as the Urtica ferox, is one of the biggest stinging nettles in the world and grows up to 3 meters or 9.8 feet tall. Its leaves are covered in tiny 6 millimeter long white hairs that'll make you feel as if you got hit by 1,000 burning needles. So, if you're ever adventuring in New Zealand's beautiful outdoors, be sure to stay clear. 3. The Slimy Carnivores. Well, since I'm on the subject of New Zealand, let's just continue in that vein. Did you know they have giant carnivorous snails unlike any other? Pauliphanta snails are the slimy superstars of the snail world. These behemoths boast beautiful shells in shades of red, brown, yellow, and black that can grow up to 9 centimeters or 3.5 inches across. Unlike their herbivorous cousins, Paueliphantas use their muscular tongues to slurp up earthworms and slugs, just like we eat spaghetti. 2. Unexpected hiding places. Scree skinks, some of New Zealand's most fascinating reptiles, have a surprising defense mechanism. These medium-sized lizards with smooth glossy scales and shades of gray and brown don't hide under rocks when they feel threatened. Nope. When they get scared, scree skinks dive right into puddles. The clever reptiles can hold their breath for long periods, making them practically invisible to predators under the water's surface. 1. Hihi Hookups. Have you ever heard of a hihi bird? These playful creatures that can be found on the Little Barrier Island in New Zealand have a fascinating mating habit that sets them apart from most birds. Unlike the tail-to-tail mating position seen in many species, hihis engage in a unique face-to-face act. Some would call it missionary. What's even more surprising is that this bird was chosen as the bird of the year by a sex chain in 2020, which probably makes sense, I guess. Researchers are still studying the hihis' mating behavior, but one thing's for sure, the hihis' love life is anything but ordinary. So, what are some other mind-blowing facts that you know? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you want to hear about stolen brains, ridiculously expensive fruit, or how apples can help your claustrophobia, then you'll just want to click on this link right here. Trust me, it's fun. More videos. Let's keep the List 25 train rolling. Oh man, sweet merch, List 25 train.